These are the kinds of heists that make you rethink everything you thought you knew about crime. That thieves are always just desperate, reckless, or dumb. Think again. Some of the most ingenious robberies in history were pulled off by masterminds who used everything from flawless timing and disguise to inside knowledge and even the occasional literary reference to outwit entire security systems, armies of guards, and the police. There's one epic tale, though, that always hooks me right away. The time in 2003 when a crew tunneled beneath a Sicilian bank for months, using walkie-talkies and stolen sewer maps, only to break through the vault floor and nab nearly 2 million euros without tripping a single alarm. That's not desperation, that's dark genius. And what's wild is that story's not even the weirdest one on the list. Over the next few minutes, we're winding through a gallery of criminal IQs so high, you might feel conflicted about rooting against them. Our little joyride kicks off in Paris, and I promise, the payoffs keep coming. There's this guy, for instance, who strolls into the Louvre in 1911, dressed as an employee, plucks the Mona Lisa off the wall, and saunters out. No violence, no alarms, just pure audacity. 28 hours later, they finally notice the world's most famous painting is missing. Turns out Vincenzo Peruggia just wanted to return it to Italy, and honestly, I get why the French were embarrassed. But then, we bounce over to Brazil, where in 2005, a group spent 3 months posing as lawn care workers at a rented house. While the neighbors complained about the constant landscaping, these guys tunneled nearly 8 Teamsters vans worth of dirt, ending up directly under the Banco Central's vault in Fortaleza. When they broke through, they snatched about $70 million, stuffing it into shopping bags and leaving so little evidence that for weeks, police thought it was an inside job. Speaking of inside jobs, you cannot skip over the 1972 United California Bank burglary. A crew led by Emil Dincio used dynamite, intricate alarm-jamming gadgets, and no joke, golf shoes for tiptoeing across the bank's slick floors. They hauled out the equivalent of $30 million in today's money, but one tiny mistake, a dinner receipt left behind, busted them. And yet, over in Antwerp, Belgium, Leonardo Notarbartolo and his gang studied the Diamond Center's vault for years. They built a scale model to practice at home and quietly disabled 10 separate security systems, all in sync in 2003. A haul of about 100 million in uncut gems, bonds, and cash, only to be tripped up by a half-eaten sandwich dropped at the scene. By the way, if you love seeing how tiny mistakes or clever strokes topple huge empires, tap subscribe so you never miss the next domino. Back in the 60s, another French legend, the Spider-Man, did rooftop reconnaissance, scaling walls at night and bypassing window alarms. In one feat, he rigged a fishing pole to reel valuable coins straight from museum displays without stepping foot inside. Then there's the bonkers Banco Rio robbery in Buenos Aires. In 2006, 6 men storm a bank with toy guns, take 23 hostages, then vanish through a crudely cut tunnel into the sewer system. They left behind a note, in a neighborhood of rich people, without weapons or grudges, it's just money, not love. Authorities later admitted they didn't see it coming because the robbers actually befriended neighborhood cops beforehand. That's some Danny Ocean energy. And who could forget the Hatton Garden burglary in London, where elderly men used diamond-tipped drills to quietly bypass the vault over a holiday weekend in 2015? Even Scotland Yard was forced to admit, as reported by The Guardian, that the crew's patience and planning were exceptional for any age. A quick checkpoint. So far, we have seen dogs, tunnels, rooftop escapades, museum heists, and even a heist you could almost root for. Ready for one with a full-on twist? The Great Train Robbery of 1963, masterminded by Bruce Reynolds, wasn't just a brute force stick-up. They rehearsed, recruited an inside man, and used homemade walkie-talkies to coordinate stopping the Royal Mail train using a fake signal just before dawn. When they made off with today's equivalent of $70 million, it pushed UK authorities to overhaul rail security forever. But not every genius left a mess behind, like the guy who used a phone scam in New York in 1995 to have armored trucks roll up to a midtown bank at the same time, and posed as both the security supervisor and the courier pickup crew. He never even touched the vault, just exploited paperwork chaos. There's even one story from Japan, where in 1968, a man posing as a cop convinced bank staff their car was rigged with a bomb. While he inspected the crime scene, he just drove off in the car with the equivalent of a few $1 million inside, without a single shot fired. So what do all these genius-level robberies have in common? In a world obsessed with brute force and Hollywood shootouts, the most successful capers hinge on something simpler: sharp minds, careful details, and the ability to spot when a sandwich or a dinner receipt can bring down your whole scheme. Honestly, maybe the real lesson here is not to turn to crime, but that if you ever see somebody unusually interested in the sewer system, maybe give them a second glance.